Good evening. Welcome to a bit of a different 12-man podcast. We're still live. We're still on Facebook. We're still, obviously, talking Borough, as you do. We just thought it'd be a bit different instead of putting two games in on Monday because of what happened yesterday. We thought we can't squeeze that into the small slot that we do have on Monday. So we're going to give you 30 minutes of, I suppose, pure bedlam, which what 90 minutes was yesterday. So you got me, Steve Jackson. I'm your host for the evening, as usual. Mr. John Donovan's with me. He's agreed to come on. Evening, John Don.
Now then, you okay?
Yeah, we're doing good. Recovered from yesterday.
Still a bit shell-shocked, but yeah, generally recovered.
It was a bit of I don't know what the hell's happened here, but and our guest tonight, you can't see him. You will be able to hear him. Many people will know him. He's well known within the Borough community. He's done 1,348 consecutive competitive games. He's done 74 current league rounds. He's been on before. He's sure he'll be on again. Mr. Nick Waite is with us. Evening, Nick.
Hi, Steve. Sorry, I don't know what's something up with my video. Honestly, I'm not camera shy.
we know you're not. That's fine. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Yes, we're going to get stuck into, yesterday. Oh, wow. Where do you start? We're going to have to start somewhere. We'll dissect through it, and then just before we go tonight, we'll give our quick predictions on how Sunday will go or not go. All I'm saying is Burnley are 2-1 to win on Sunday. That's all I'm saying. Right, so, John Don, sold out Riverside. DJ's on the deck. Atmosphere is ramping up. Team comes out. It was pretty much what I expected team-wise. Yeah, Bergzal came back in. I thought he deserved something to get back into the side after the Plymouth game. I thought McGree didn't quite do enough against Plymouth. I thought Bergzal had the impact he should have had. Barlasser came for Howson. I think was Howson injured, under the weather? I don't know. But what did you make of the team?
I would have liked to have seen Howson. I thought it was going to be a tough game, obviously because of their current form and the fact that if they had won, they would have been level on points with us. So they're on a decent run. I thought it was a tough game, and I would have liked Howson in there just to try and put a bit of steel in our midfield. But as it was, I was okay with the team. I was pleased. I was pleased overall. I thought it was good enough to do well.
Well, keep that in your head, because for the first 45 minutes, you were absolutely spot on the money. Nick, what did you make of the team when you saw it come out at 2:00?
I was disappointed that Lath wasn't playing. I mean, they were supposedly short of defenders, and I just thought with his pace, it might have made a difference. It's a bit of a toss of a coin at the end of the day. He wasn't one that you think, oh, that's going to change the game. But I just, if I'd been the manager, I'd have started with Lath. But
yeah, no, you are right. It's I looked at their backline. I thought there was a distinct lack of pace there. Something we could have got at, and as we saw in the first 45
and he did change the game at Plymouth, didn't he, when he came on?
He did. No, you're absolutely right. I thought him and Bergzal did say that the pace they both inject is scary at times, and Plymouth didn't know what to deal with it. And I thought Sheffield Wednesday at times, especially in the first half, you look at how Ben Doak ran at the team. They didn't really know what to do with him at all. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I was pretty much happy with the team. It was exactly what I thought it would. Let's dive in then, right? What did Jason call it? A Christmas of two halves. A tale of two halves, he's called it. Right, let's go into the first half. John, I just got up the stairs from enjoying pre-match drinks with the missus. Got up to the top of the stairs. Turned round, Ben Doak's heading in 1-0. The exact start you want, especially in a full Riverside, when the atmosphere is just starting to bubble a little bit, as it does, obviously pre-match in the first couple of minutes, and then an early goal that got the Riverside right up for it, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, it was a well worked goal actually. A nice another assist from Azaz, and you know, in that first half, and the first goal showed it. We sort of cut through them fairly easily, and it was a great start for us. And like you said, the atmosphere had started off well, and that just sort of notched it up another couple of levels. So yeah, great start. Proud we're up for it. Everything was looking good at the time.
It was a brilliant start. It was brilliant header, back post again from Ben Doak. He's got that knack of losing his man and sneaking in, and then pretty much exactly the same. Nick, obviously the finish was different, but went straight down the middle of them as if Finners has got the ball in the middle of the goal. If that was my keeper, I'd be saying he should be doing a little bit better, but it just showed how quick we were to get on the front foot, get the ball up the pitch, and it really was a good finish from Finners as again.
Yeah, I mean there was a number of fantastic moves. Sort of, you know, there wasn't just the one or the two. There was a load of very slick passing and you know and fast passing. You know, fizzing the ball about a bit. We just looked at a different level to what they were. Certainly until the third goal went in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I can't disagree more. Go on, John.
We did. No, we did. We looked at least a league or two above them. They couldn't get anywhere near us. They didn't press as hard as I thought they might have done. But they tried to win the ball off us, and we were just like simple, accurate, short passing in triangles and moving the ball up the pitch. And I would say that was one of the best 45-minute displays in the first half that I've seen for a long time from the Butter. We absolutely dominated the vast majority of that first half.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Because we weren't doing fancy flicks and things that were difficult. It was precise, simple passing. It was putting our passes together at a quick pace that Sheffield Wednesday could not handle. And you could see Barry Bannon was so isolated in the middle that Barlas and Halves were just having the way around him, with Finners as being the anchor at the top to pivot that beautiful passing triangle, like you said. And they just couldn't get anywhere near us. And I suppose that was epitomising the third goal. As scrappy as it was, it just showed how easy we cut through them again. And Finners as in the same position yet again to get another goal. He really is having the season of his life, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. John said it was the best 45 minutes. I would certainly say it was the best 30, 35 minutes. I thought the last 10 minutes of the first half, we started to get a bit sloppy, and we started to stop pinging the ball about like we were, and it was quite interesting because at half time, my mate, and he's normally a pretty optimistic guy, he turned around and he said, "This game's not over yet," and I said, "You're joking, are you?" And he said the last 10 minutes, he said there's still something in this game.
It was funny because going down to the concourse at half time and chatting to people on the way, I got different people's opinions. Some were saying to me, let's keep pushing on and let's kill the game. And then others were saying, we just need to take the sting out of it. So people were having different thoughts on how to approach the second half. But I did say to a mate of mine, I said, we have to keep it tight because one goal and they're back in it, a 2-goal deficit. If they score early, it can be made up. But what I didn't expect was to see what we saw second half. I just did not expect that at all. It was, like I say, I was absolutely shell-shocked by what went on.
Yeah, I mean we're going to get stuck right into it. I mean, I was exactly the same as you. First 10 minutes of the second half, just because I saw a bit what Nick mentioned there. last 10 minutes we started to be a bit lackadaisical, started to show off a bit, and I thought, I don't want this. I just want us to keep it as simple as we have, because it's hurting them and they don't know how to deal with it. It showed down the second half. We just went for it. I mean, how many times did Blatty laugh try and do something with the ball in the box? Because I vividly remember you said to me, John, it's 3-0. I can see why he had to go. And literally 30 seconds later, Ingleson ran from 30 yards in his own half to the edge of our box and pinged it in. One, who's tracking him? Two, why have we gone gun-ho as quick as we did? I know some people are saying, well, yeah, kill the game while we can. Some are saying, I don't want to kill it. But my big problem, as I said to you earlier, why are we not tracking that man? It's simple tactics. It's simple football. It's simple discipline. And we just let Ingleson run and we made a mess of it. And I don't get how we made such a mess of it, because that was the beginning of the worst 15 minutes I've seen under Carrick with ease.
Oh, without a doubt, it was the worst 15 minutes. I mean, it was reminiscent of that day at Carrow Road, wasn't it? When we were cruising with 10 minutes to go, a different time of the game, but it was very similar to that. I can't remember. In fact, I can't remember seeing a 15 minutes like that at the Riverside.
No, I can't. I can't. John, you?
No. I mean, it was absolutely symbolic, really. I mean, from a position of strength and from being so comfortable, they got a goal back, and then we absolutely did not know how to deal with it. There seemed to be nobody in that team was able to take responsibility and sort of stem what we all knew in the stands was going to come, and that was, Sheffield Wednesday going to try and sort of get right back at us. And there was nobody who took control, really, and we just absolutely fell to pieces. We were so brittle. It was unbelievable. There was no character within the team to sort of stifle anything that Sheffield Wednesday were going to do, and it was awful to watch.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I know your take on it, John. Nick, I'll ask you, where does that come down from? Do you look at the management in that's in? Do you look at the players? Is it a bit of both?
I think it's got to be a bit of both, isn't it? Because I mean, at the end of the day, whatever was said in the changing room at half time wasn't good enough, was it? Because we clearly didn't come out, and there's got to have been something that was wrong there. But at the same time, the players have got to take responsibility. But then you look at it and you think, well, and we saw it at Plymouth last week. How are we so bad at defending? How it's not rocket science. How are you going to score against us? But nothing. And the thing that annoys me is that every week we get the same old post match. We'll learn and we'll move on, and we're learning nothing.
Yeah, that's what annoyed me about Carrick's post-match interview. Quite honestly, just
I mean, the guy's got an awful lot of strengths. One of which is his laid-back persona, really. But at the same time, is that working against us in instances like this when if we'd had somebody, a Neil Warnock, let's say, who had grabbed him by the throat and said, "This is what you're going to do," would it have been different? I said to John earlier today, if the manager had been in the other dressing rooms at half time, I think would have possibly comfortably won that game. Now, I'm not saying that their manager is better than our manager. I don't know, but I just felt that they and again they brought two subs on at half time. Shalabar with Bannon took control of that midfield, but if it had been the other way around, we wouldn't have brought two players on at half time to change the game.
No, I've noticed that. Joe,
I mean, Yeah, you look at how easily Barry Bannon controlled that midfield in the second half, and you think, how is that possible? The guy must be 37, 38-year-old. I know it's the same age as John Howson, but really, we nobody got near him. I mean, Hackney, he's a youngster. He's an England under-21 international. Yet he was given the runaround in the second half, as were all our midfielders. It was, like I say, I'm still in a state of shock as to how it happened, and why we were so fragile. I can't remember. Like a decent tackle put in, if you know what I mean. Maybe it's just, yeah. I'm still in a state of shock. Maybe I can't remember, but I can't remember a decent full-blooded challenge. To whip up the crowd who, like me, I think we were stunned into silence at times. It was just incredible how we fell from such dominant heights in the first half to looking lost as a team, without any strength, any backbone, any character. It was shocking. That's all I can say.
There's a lack of. There was certainly a lack of leadership on the pitch, but is there also a lack of leadership on the touchline?
Yes. I love Michael Carrick. I really do. You see Woodgate, you see his brother Graham, you see Ledbetter at times. They're all in discussions, but for me, he needs a bit of experience. I mean, Dally's just messaged me there. He said, have a chat with Mogger. Just have a chat with Mogger and say, would you be willing to do it? A bit like what Mike Phelan's doing with Wayne Rooney. Just give him a bit of a helping hand, not take control. Just give him a bit of a, if it was me, I'd do that. It's up to you, but if it was me, I'd do it. That's what he had with Aaron Danks. I know people are going to go, don't start talking about that again. But I feel like he's lost something with that. I feel like he's lost a bit of, I don't know, something's not right. And it showed for me at 3-2 when Windass scored. I mean, for one, the goal was so sloppy. I think it stunned Sol Bryn into diving. But we made 3 subs. We took off Ben Doak. I didn't agree with taking Doak off. I know you didn't, John, because you said to me that's a bad move. I just felt like he'd panicked a little bit. Nick, I don't know what you think about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, he's got no experience to fall back on, has he? We've got no Terry Venables in the dim and distant, or we've got no wily old fox who will say, right, even a Lenny Lawrence type person, who would guide. And the thing that annoys me is that there's very little emotion shown. You don't. Whether it changes the game or not, I'd rather have him ranting and raving on the touchline and jumping up and down and holding his head or whatever than sort of, waving sort of, go forward type thing, But you still can't. That team was more than capable of winning that game from a 3-0 position if we'd had the worst manager and if we'd had Harry Bassett managing us.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You jump in.
Yeah. The second goal, again, we had opportunities to clear that ball from the danger area, and we didn't do it. And then, like you say, it was a scrappy goal. It was deflected onto Windass, and he didn't know anything about it, and it was right in the corner. Sol Bryn didn't manage to make it. But at 3-2, I wanted to see a reaction. I know we should have seen a reaction at 3-1, but it was just happening so quickly. At 3-2, you do think, if you're a player and you're 3-0 up and it's 3-2, you've got to think, right, come on, get together, brief chat before kickoff, and let's get our jobs done. I mean, we still had 11v11 at that time, and you know that there was no reason why we couldn't have sort of got together, reset, and gone again, because like just being said, it's we had a better team. Man, I'm struggling here because I just can't get my head around what I witnessed, and it's frustrating, isn't it?
It massively was, and I can see why you're frustrated. I mean, there's been obviously a lot of chat in the past 24 or so hours since that game's happened. One guy's name keeps getting mentioned is being the problem, and not having the, I suppose, the know-how to cut this right. And a lot of people are pointing the finger at Jonathan Woodgate now. I'll start with you, John. Firstly, what do you make of that? Obviously, you get Woodgate getting the finger pointed at him. Is he the problem? Is his defensive know-how, should it be a bit more, seen? He's supposed to be the guy taking control of that part.
You've got. I can see why people are pointing the finger at Woodgate. You've got to. We're scoring lots of goals. We're scoring loads of goals. However, we're conceding far too many. And for a team that has aspirations of promotion, whether it be automatic or via the playoffs, you can't do that. You can't. You just cannot allow yourself to ship so many goals. And Woodgate, with his vast experience, you would think that our defence would be in a bit more shape, a defensive shape, but sometimes it just gets pulled apart, and we've got a soft underbelly that we promoted teams don't have. You need strength, you need character, you need resilience. You need to be able to come back from 3-0. You really do if you want to look at promotion. But let's be honest, if we were down at 3-0 at half time, there'd be very, very few Borough fans who would say we can get back into this. However, 3-0 up, and you've got Nick's mate, and others who I've spoken to who said we've got to make sure that we don't let them back into it. We've got to kill the game. So there is that fear, amongst Borough fans that we've seen it so often this season, where we grasp a defeat or a draw from the jaws of victory, and it's happened, and it's happening a bit too regular for it to be just a coincidence.
No, you're right. I mean, you just look at the teams at the top. We're aiming to be part of them 4 teams that have now broke away, because they've broke away now, as far as this point of the season goes. 15, 13, 9 and 20. That is the goals they've conceded this season. We've conceded 31 already. 31. There's only one other team above in the top half that have conceded more than that. 2, and that's Sheffield Wednesday, and that's Norwich. Can you see as well, Nick, why people are pointing the finger at Woodgate and saying, you played at the top level as a defender. Surely you should be passing on a bit more of your experience and know-how to be saying to these lads, cut this out, go back to basics, and defend properly.
Yeah, I think nobody really knows what happens on the training ground, do they? And nobody knows what But again, you look at our club, and we brought Carrick in. Jonathan Woodgate wasn't Carrick's choice. Now most managers who come into every club, and I've seen this with one of my friends fairly recently. A new manager comes in, and I'm sorry, but you're down the lane. You're out the job. I'm bringing my own guys in. And this is what I don't understand. We've got a guy there who, was so respected in football, But where's his contacts? Where he's brought his brother in, and I don't think Aaron Danks was I don't think there was any connection between Michael Carrick and Danks before he came in. But what if Mike Phelan is and again, I don't know whether Mike Phelan's a good manager, a good coach, a bad coach, or whatever, but he's certainly been around the block. And Plymouth can't have offered him more than we potentially would have offered a first team coach. I can't work out sort of what there's is it they say that they're a strong team between the coaching staff, but again Grant Ledbetter great footballer. I don't know how good a coach or a bad coach he is, but I can't believe that Grant Ledbetter was Michael Carrick's pick.
No, I can't. To be honest, I can't. I know Michael comes out and says, I know these lads. I've been mates with them, and I think he did his badges with Woodgate. I think they're on the same course, but it still didn't scream he's my choice. It just screams, yeah, I know him, and we fully get that. But I'm struggling with Woody now. I love Woody. Woody's one of my favourite all-time Borough players. Watching Woody in a Borough shirt was an absolute pleasure at times. I'm struggling with, because one of the comments I can't scroll through and find it where it was. When we start becoming on the back foot, we start losing. You very rarely see Woodgate stood with Carrick anymore. It's like he disappears. When we're winning and with everything's going well, he stood there and they're talking away. Harsh, I don't know, but that's the reality of it. He disappears, and Carrick looks a very lonely figure. I'm with Nick, John, on the point. Why aren't we approaching someone like a Mike Phelan? What's Wayne Rooney got that Michael Carrick hasn't?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe the stumbling block was the fact that he wasn't allowed his own staff. I don't know. It's speculation. I'm guessing. I don't know, but he might not have been allowed to bring in the stuff that he wanted, whether that was financial or whatever. I don't know. But there you go. It's difficult.
The other worrying thing is that for all the talk, we're not learning, we're not improving. But if anything, we're going backwards because clubs other teams have worked with aren't even more, and we're not managing to. You looked at the Plymouth game, and the defending the Plymouth game was poor. And then, we told, well, we're going to improve for the, we're going to learn and we're going to go back to the training pitch, etc. And then 3-4 days later, we get exactly the same in worse.
That's it. Go on.
I'm just going to say that the one thing I can take from yesterday is the fact that at one point, and it probably wasn't just me, I thought we were going to lose that game, especially at 3-3, a man down, their tails are well up. I thought we were going to lose that game. So the positive that I'm going to look for is the fact that we managed to sort of like with 10 men, and we rode our luck at times towards the end, but we managed to get something from a game that we threw away in a 15-minute spell. So yeah, I'm looking at positives here, and that's what I can take.
I thought Isaiah Jones played as well as he played for a long while when he came on.
Yeah,
he did. He looked very, very lively. Probably the best since West Brom away when he came on and had to do a bit of a defensive role there. But yeah, like I say, I was fearful of them of getting nothing out of that game. So to get a point, not ideal, because at 350 or 355, everybody was happy and looking forward to to Sunday and Burnley. But that's unchanged.
Mate, at 4 o'clock, I was still happy. I was absolutely delighted at 4 o'clock. I thought, lads were just coming back out. I thought, yeah, fair enough. The reason I giggled, by the way, Paul Ronald came on when I said the difference between Michael Carrick and Wayne Rooney. He came up and said a belly. So there you go. That really got me there. He's absolutely spot on, by the way. But for me, the problem is fullbacks. And I'm not talking about the one that gets picked out every single game, left back. I see a problem at right back now. Both flanks are getting absolutely pummels. Because if one isn't getting the cross coming from it, the other one is having the guy run round him. It's coming from both sets now, and you can see it coming. And I feel like one side doesn't get as much criticism as the other. Everybody just sees one as an easy target, which is really harsh, as much as I know he's bad. I mean, notice I'm not mentioning names. I'm doing quite well with it, huh? John, do we have a problem at fullback, both sides?
Yeah, because Borges can give you the odd good game, but he can also be awful. It's unbelievable how some games he can look really, really so poor. But you know, it's the sort of like it's the rigidity of our back four that I want us to keep. We've had performances where we've been absolutely outstanding at the back. You know, the likes Burnley away recently. You know, we've been absolutely superb, rock solid. And then other times we look as weak as balsa wood. You know, it's. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. If we could just have a little bit of strength of character throughout the team, we do far better.
You know, I think there's also an issue though with the balls that come in that, you know, there's far too many balls coming into the box, but the attackers in the box seem to have that much space when the ball comes in that the centre halves and again we've got arguably we've got probably the strongest group of centre halves in the league if you put all four of them together. But you know, why when the ball comes in, why a forward's got 5 yards of space?
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. It's like we've got a disconnection between the back line and the two lads that are supposed to sit in front of it. Because I felt at times as well, second half, Hackney and Barlas had just disappeared because they were so solid in that first half. They ran the show. They were brilliant. You know, they had the connection, they had the partnership, they had everything to go for them. But as soon as Shalabar came on and just split the pair of them up, we were in big bother. And we just didn't gain control back off it. But, you know, the one positive that John says, and you're absolutely right, we didn't lose that game. Because, like you, I was absolutely convinced that 3-3, there's only one winner here. Down to 10 men, possibly our third choice keeper in goal, who, by the way, had a very shocking start to his time on the pitch, gave the ball away and then went walkies towards the front post so that the lad score back post. I mean, I don't want to be harsh on Tom Glue because he only just put the gloves on, you know what I mean? But and the biggest loss for me was Solbridge going off injuries. I haven't seen anything to say what it was. I don't know if it was his shoulder, his hand.
It looked like a dislocated shoulder to me.
Yeah, I thought that's what it looked like because he grabbed it straight away, didn't he? That's the biggest loss for me because it looks. God knows where Dieng is. Don't know where Dieng is. He's disappeared. It was just a very bad 45 minutes. And it's not the first time we shot Leeds away this season. I look at Norwich. I know you obviously mentioned Nick from 20 years ago, Norwich away. But Norwich this season, Plymouth we can see 3 easy goals. Portsmouth, how the hell we didn't win that game, I don't know.
Look at Watford away.
Watford away, how we took that from 1-0 up, I don't know. There's so many times now this season you look and think, how the hell have we lost and dropped points in these games? we're in double digits now. You put them double digits back on, and we're kicking towards Sheffield United and Leeds. And it's just showing how
that's it.
We are.
That's it. Danny Roll, their manager, said that he's pleased with the number of points they've gained from losing positions. We had exactly the opposite. The number of points we've lost from winning positions. It could have us a lot closer to the top four, couldn't it?
Exactly. We leave it, as you said 5 minutes ago. We need to start reeling that top four back in, and they're gone for now. But we could be slap bang in the middle of them. We could be, and we're not. It's just.
I think realistically now, the top three it's very, very difficult to see how we're ever going to get back anywhere near the top three now, because they're all playing with a level of consistency. They're not playing particularly well. I mean, the Leeds match last night, where you could see a bit, they weren't particularly good. They were, Burnley aren't particularly good, but they're well organised. Sheffield United, another team, they're not, on paper, they're no better than we are on paper. But, they're now 10, 12 points ahead with half the season gone. To expect to get ahead of two of those three teams, I think is a massive ask now. Given especially the way we play, there's not. If we'd been on a run of the last 4 games where we'd won every game, and which we went through that session where 3, 4, 5, 6 goals, you could say, well, maybe yes, but you can't see how we've got the strength to start, and Sheffield United are the classic team, aren't they? They're just picking up wins all the time, and they're not outstanding wins. They're just 1-0s, 2-1s, 2-0s, but they are doing it, and they're doing it consistently.
If you really want to, go on, John.
No, I was just going to say we've got to we've got to think that we're better than the likes of Blackburn and Watford and Sunderland. There's no reason why we can't sort of like close that gap towards them. I'll still hold out for top 2 purely and simply because I'm a lunatic, and I think that there's plenty of points to play for. So I'm not going to rule that out myself. But realistically, we've got to be looking to in the second half of the season to get more points than those 3 teams I've just mentioned.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And like you said, we're only halfway. We are at the halfway point. But the thing I look at now, and it's so obvious. You look at the 3 teams at the top. Daniel Farke done it twice. Chris Wilder has done it. Scott Parker has done it. And you can see the way they're playing, the way they're getting results when they're not being brilliant. I know Burnley beat Sheffield United yesterday, but they're not doing it spectacularly. They're just doing it because they need to, because they have to, and they're gaining them results. And they've got the average. The average is 2 points a game if you really want to get out this division, and they've both all 3 of them.
You don't need to be spectacular. You don't need to be spectacular, do you, Steve? You just need to be consistent and pick up points when you're not playing so well. We've said that frequently on this podcast, but that's something that we're not doing. I mentioned I put a tweet out after the game saying another Jekyll and Hyde performance from the Borough, and that's what we are. We need some sort of consistency.
And that's it. You're absolutely right. So there's 2 more questions I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to let you enjoy your Friday evening. I'll start with the first one. If you can, Nick, have you got a man of the match from yesterday? Easy question, easy answer. John, what are you?
I was going to say Saul Bryn didn't do badly until he went off.
We'll stick with that.
And probably Azaz as well.
Yeah. He
got
to Clark, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought Azaz was lucky to be hooked, but I can understand why. I mean, I spoke to you, Steve, and
Yeah.
you did say, well, Balassa does sit a bit deeper, so with us
Yeah,
being
I
down to
understand,
10 men, maybe
you can
that was
see
the choice.
why.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'll agree with Nick. I think Azaz was our best player on the day.
Yeah, I'll back that as well. I thought Finn Azaz was brilliant until he was took off. Unlucky to be took off, but I can see the reasoning. You don't want to take off another holding midfielder, bring a defender. You might as well take off an attacking one just to hold station a bit. But I think it was the subs around it that probably made the mistake, unfortunately. But
I mean, again, we haven't talked about it, but should we be looking again at playing 3 centre halves?
it's not a bad show. It's been mentioned a couple of times. To be fair. Yeah. No, that's right.
Why not? As long as we've got like 3 fit centre halves, yeah.
Yeah, not suspended.
It might make us more solid at the back, which is what we definitely need. And another thing we can do is bring Bill Bezic back, just to teach the lads, get into them sort of psychologically and make them tougher. We can all be seagulls.
I don't really know where to go from that. I didn't expect to hear Bill Bezic's name on there, but that takes me back to being a kid. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We did last year, didn't we? When we really needed to, when the injuries started piling up, which they have again, because we have got a few out for Sunday. But I'll start again with you, Nick. Score prediction for Sunday.
Well, football's a funny thing. And I was thinking about this earlier, and after 2-3-3 draws, it wouldn't be surprised if it was a 0-0.
Not a bad shout, to be fair, is it? It's not. John,
I don't know who the anytime goal scorer would be, but
yeah, I can't see us keeping a clean sheet, so I'm going to say 2-1 Middlesbrough, and Latte left to score.
Yeah, I can see, especially with Conway injured now. Obviously, we need to find out what's happened.
I mean, where do we go with the team? I mean, who's going to play in goal? Who's going to play at left back?
There's so many
George
questions.
McCormick.
Is Johnny Howson injured, or was he rested? And if he was rested, you'd have thought he'd have still been on the bench, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
exactly. No, you're right. There's a lot of questions to be answered. I'm gonna go for a Dally special. I'm going 1-1. I honestly think Burnley will be in the top 2 this season. They're so consistent. They're so in the best way possible. They're so boring, but that's what you want to be, and that's what Scott Parker, thrives upon. Boring, but he gets the job done. But that's what Cranker did. Cranker wasn't the most flash, but he got the job done. And I think that's what Parker's doing. So yeah, 1-1. And I'd probably say Ben Dolt getting another goal. I think Ben Dolt getting another goal on Sunday. But so many questions, so many things. I felt we had to talk about this tonight. So I'll leave it there. We'll reconvene on Monday to talk about Sunday. John, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I will do. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome. Nick, thank you very much for popping on. Always good to talk to you. Always spark a good debate online. If you don't follow Nick online, please do. It's a great spectacle. He has some lively debates, and hopefully I'll have you on again soon. Thank you very much for popping on.
No problem, Steve. Thanks for having me.
No, more than happy to have you. And the people that listened and subscribed and commented tonight, thank you very much for having to listen to us, and get your backsides to the Riverside Sunday. Back the lads. They may need us Sunday, so yes. Up the borough, be seeing you. Toodle pip.
Up the borough.
Thanks, lads. See you later.